Well, today on Nation, the Window Cleaners Podcast, we're talking all about a window cleaner's mindset. Like, what are we thinking when we have businesses? What do we do? How do you change that? What should you be focused on? All that stuff. So if you're a window cleaner or for some weird reason want to learn about window cleaning stuff, stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. How's it going? How are you? Hello. My name is Jersey. I've been in the window cleaning industry 20 years. I want to say hello to start off the show. If you're new here, take a look around. It's been going on now 9.5 years. Every single week, have not missed a week, knock on wood. So, there you go. Lots of content to go back on, and some of the episodes aren't terrible. So, yeah, go back, listen to that. By the way, if it's not your first time here, as always, thank you for continuing to come. The thousands and thousands of you that listen, watch, everything else every week is just amazing. So, thank you. Anywho, yeah, I'm talking about mindset today, and you know, sometimes we go off on the technical of business, and sometimes we kind of go off on the other. And I had been talking to somebody, which, I mean, I do all the time. But it made me kind of understand that this particular person who is in business for quite a few years. Now, mind you, this is the first time we talked. Super nice dude. Older gentleman's been in business for a very long time. But I realized that his mindset had been wrong for 15 years, 20 years, whatever it was. And I shouldn't say wrong, because there's no wrong way. This is your business. You can do whatever you want. But in the goals that were needed and where he thought he wanted to be and what he wanted to change and all that stuff, all realistically came back to his mindset, and how he was thinking was completely off. And I want to start by saying your brain is one of the more powerful tools that you have. And I know that's corny and yeah, but realistically, it's what tells you what's going to happen. It makes things go. It makes things happen. It makes whatever. And the problem ends up being, a lot of the times, is we start off as a guy who's just cleaning some windows, making some money. We're like, this is pretty cool. All of a sudden, years pass. You're still cleaning some windows, making some money. You're like, well, I want to get bigger, but you're still cleaning some windows and making some money. It never really happens because there's not a plan. You're just kind of there. And you think there's a plan, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. And nothing actually is gone to what is changing, but it's back to the mindset. And I'll tell you, with all transparencies, I started my window cleaning company a very, very long time ago. But I started because I like business, not because I really just loved window cleaning. That's two ways. People want to start a business that makes money, and then other people want to just do window cleaning because they really enjoy that window cleaning, right? I've been in the industry as involved as anybody possibly could be for a very long time. And it's because I love it, the industry. But when I got in, I did one job before I hired, which to a lot of people is like, what? Like, I knew that I wanted to be in business, and I had kind of the business on my mind more than the cleaning the windows, okay? So with all that being said, some people want to run a long time just doing this thing on their own, and that's totally cool. But if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to either get bigger or stronger or any of that stuff, you have to think about what your mindset is, right? And let me just jump right in. Is you're either a window cleaner or a business owner. And I made that decision right away. Some people, I just really love cleaning windows, you know, and even if I didn't have any staff or people, I'd still clean windows because I love it. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Then you have a passion project, you don't have a business, right? If you have a company, you're not a window cleaner. You may think you are, you may go back to your roots, you may whatever, but if you have a business, you're a business owner. That's first and foremost. And even if you're out there doing the window cleaning, you're still a business owner, right? You still have payroll and taxes, and you have maybe marketing, some SEO stuff. You have customer relations, and you have maybe complaints and all that stuff. If you're just a window cleaner, or maybe you are just a window cleaner for somebody else, that's it. You go to work, you clean some windows, you go home, high five. You show up the next day, cool, what's on the schedule for me? Let's do it. People get stuck in that mindset when they're a business owner. And they do the exact same thing. Your growth has kind of gotten stale, right? Nothing's really changed. You're not doing anything active because you're just too busy. And you show up and you're like, cool, what's on the schedule? Let's clean some windows. And then at the end of the day, it's like, I got to try to do some things because there's other little bits and pieces. But you're a window cleaner. That business model and mindset is never going to be as strong as you could have it. It's never going to be as big as you could have it. It's never going to be any of that stuff. It is a good job. That's what you do. I did a show a year to something like that ago. It was called, the concept was having a business or having a job. What do you have, right? And I think that was really, really eye-opening to a lot of people. It's like, man, I've just been running this thing like a job. Like, it's good. Like, you can make some money, right? We average $125 an hour. So if it's just you working, that's pretty good. You can't go do anything else for that amount. But then people go, well, I really want to grow, and I really want to be bigger. I want to be whatever. The particular gentleman that I had talked to, like I said, it was the first time that we had ever just talked, and I had no real other ideas in his company or anything like that. And he had mentioned that he had one helper, I think, years ago, and kind of didn't really work out, and he never got anybody else because now he's just too busy. And but he's thinking that now he wants to do something. The guy's in his upper 60s, I think. He's at that point, right? He wants to retire, but he can't retire because it's not really a business worth anything. He just has a list, and he's trying to sell it. It's a whole thing. So now he's like, okay, well, let's reinvent it and create a business, and then we have an asset, and the asset can sell, right? If I go clean a bunch of windows, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I want to sell this to somebody. All you have is a list. Because whoever you sell it to is going to have to do all the work. They're also going to be buying a job. And no one is buying a job. They're buying a list of people who like clean windows that hopefully they can also have to clean their windows. So you're like, oh man, I'm a solo operator and I sold this company. If you sold it for more than a few $1,000s, you found the absolute right person who didn't know what they were buying. So that's great, right? But the mindset change, the idea between business owner and just a company is where that happens. That's where the change all comes in. There's so many things that aren't getting done right now in a business if you're stuck in this trap. There's so many pieces to this puzzle that are not getting done right, or just not getting done at all because you're busy doing other things. You only have 100% of your time. That may be 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever the time is, right? I always say 8 hours and people go, I work 10 hours. Okay, cool, 10 hours. Same concept. Whatever those hours are, you have 100% of that. If you take and you spend 95% of that time cleaning the window, you only have 5% of the time, no matter how many hours, 5% is going to go towards the business. You can't build a business putting 5% in. That'd be like a business owner who sits on a beach the rest of the time, makes one phone call, and then they have somehow a giant business. And that's not how it happens. So, well, we look at it and go, man, I've been doing this for so long. I'm so good at it and blah, blah, blah. And this business should be giant. It's not. Well, right. Business will grow organically to some degree. You'll always have referrals and people will see your trucks and all those things. But that kind of stalls out, right? Because you have some people who move, some people who die, you have all that other stuff. So you're dropping people while you're bringing people on, and you're growing, but you're kind of growing in little itty bits. And every year, just make it a little bit more. And that's the problem, is the mindset you have. That's what was wrong, right? The things that aren't getting done, advertising, split testing, SEO work, blog posts, social media, right? Email blasts, all of those things that we talk about all the time, they don't get done. If you're out in the field, you are absolutely wasting your talent in doing the things that actually matter. And that is the hardest thing to kind of convey to people. Because I get people all the time that say, well, yeah, but if I'm on the field, I can make $100 an hour. No, you're making 20. You're making the exact same price as you are by hiring somebody else. Whatever you're paying that person, would you do what you're doing for only $20 an hour? No, but there's a window cleaner who just comes to work, punches in, does his job, and leaves that would be happy with $20 an hour. No, I make $100. No, you always make $100 an hour. The company does, depending on if you do the work or somebody else does the work. Now, if you pay that person $20 to do the work, you're still getting the $80. If you do the work, you're still getting the $80 and the 20. Understand that you take the most valuable person in the company and you make them do the least paying job that you have. Because I know most of you don't have a lower paying job than window cleaning tech, because that's just like probably all you have. And here's where the mindset changes. You go, well, the CEO of your company is out cleaning windows. Is there a CEO of any company doing $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, whatever the dumb fake number is in your head? Is there any CEO that's just cleaning windows? Like, is the CEO of, Berkshire Hathaway, I guess, trying to think of something other than McDonald's I always throw out. But are they like changing garbages and no, maybe they do it for part-time, but they're way more valuable. These guys that are taking these private jets everywhere because they're a CEO of this giant Fortune 500 company making millions of dollars a year, they are not wasting their time even sitting in an airplane. They're on a private jet because they have to work through that. They got so many valuable things. Their time is so valuable. You take that, the most valuable player in your entire team, and you make them do the least valuable thing. And inevitably, whenever I post something or talk about stuff like this, people go, oh, you're saying your employees are not valuable? It's not at all what I said. Least valuable. You can find anybody to clean windows. Well, not good. Okay, got it. You know what I'm saying. If you went out right now and hired a CEO for your company, somebody to run your company, how much would that cost? $200,000 a year? How much would that cost to find somebody and have that person be actually good? You take that position. Would you pay that person $200,000 and then have them go clean some windows? I sure hope not. But you do that every day with you. You do that all the time with you, the biggest asset your company has, and you put it out there. And then the catch-22 comes in. And you go, well, I really want to be bigger, but I'm out here cleaning windows all the time. I work 40 hours a week, so I don't have enough for an employee. Like I would have to have them with me, or I'd have to have them do something, and then they can't work by themselves. I want them in pairs of two, then I only have 20. Growth is absolutely hard, but you got stuck there. And it's the mindset part where you're like, oh, well, I'm working 50 hours a week. I can't advertise it. I got nowhere to fit these people. You don't in your job. Great. But if you want to grow, that's not, your mindset changed, right? When you look at some companies that have shareholders, which for the most part, we don't ever have, unless you're like an LLC with a partner or something. But we don't have, obviously none of us are publicly traded companies. But their entire obligation to a shareholder is to make more money for that person as their shareholder. Okay? That's why CEOs end up getting fired if they're not performing and all that. And you're like, well, it's not really up to them. No, it is. It always goes up to them. That particular person is the same thing in your side, in your position, in your everything. You are the CEO. You're the head of that company. What does it cost you, the cost of loss, to go clean windows? I got to jump off it and do my shameless plug. But hold on. I got to give a couple shout outs. First off, what's up, Sean Herring? How's it going, man? Steve Donahue, absolutely awesome dude. What's up? Calvin Lewis, how's it going? You guys are random people who buy from me, and you're not random at all. You're awesome. So thank you. Thank you. I do give shout outs to people. I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. Is how I do what I do. And I make money by putting orders in. And I get credit for every single order I put in. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't actually pay me anything. I get it just by putting the order in. So if I could do that for you, and you want to make my day and throw me a little cheddar, little hair gel money maybe, let me know. My number is 862-312-2026. You can literally, instead of clicking the checkout button right above that says save this cart, just click that button, text me and be like, yeah, what's in my cart? I take care of the absolute rest. Make sure you get your free gift. Make sure you get everything in there, discounts, deals, anything and everything that we have and you're missing. Plus you make my day. And I go like this and I smile. That's what I do. Please let me do that. Genuinely appreciate it. Also, if you haven't gotten a subscription to the American Window Cleaner magazine, what are you doing, bruh? American Window Cleaner magazine, awcmag.com, is the greatest magazine for window cleaners. It's a real paper magazine. It's not one of those like PDFs like that suck. It's a real magazine that you get to read, and it shows up, and it keeps your brain involved in the industry, and it helps support the industry, and I own it, so I would love for all of you to get a subscription. So if you haven't gotten one yet, it's a whopping $69. It comes with a free sticker sheet every single week or every single month. Also, put the stickers, they're all window cleaning stickers, put them on everything. Anyway, awcmag.com, get the subscription. Also, codes in the links. The greatest CRM that I've had a chance to use is Jobber. That is in the links. And then the WCR marketing. That is also in the links. 15% off of print. Use the code Jersey15. And then 20% off of Jobber because it's in the links. So anyway, go and check that stuff out. So anyway, value versus cost we talk about all the time. That's really what we're getting into is that the value of you does not match the cost it's going to cost for you, right? People get lost in like, well, I'm just a window cleaner. Great. Well, I don't like the other part of it. I'm going to hire, you're not going to hire a CEO. You're not going to hire somebody to run your company that understands your company like you did when you started it and have run it and have been in it. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And that whole thing and that whole idea, the whole thought process comes down to something that is called the lost day theory. And this is a theory that I just absolutely made up. But the lost day theory is this. It is if you don't do something. So say the 6th of February is here. If on the 6th of February it rains and you don't do any work, you cancel everything, you lost that day. You go, no. I just took those customers, moved them on to the first available appointment. Right. But that time that was in this first available appointment could have been filled by something else. The day of the 6th, because nothing was done, as soon as it's the 7th, the day of the 6th is gone. You lost that day. Well, yeah, but, yeah. Okay. Well, next time it happens, I'm not going to, okay, but you already lost that day. And now lost day theory comes into play when you have a CEO that is not in the right mindset and they're on the opposite side. I always give this kind of story, but a company that I knew had just purchased this company, and the first thing he did was fire their top main janitorial guy because they had a couple divisions. He was a window cleaner, bought the company, fired the top cleaning person, janitorial, so he could do it himself because he was going to make so much more money if he did it himself. So he added on like 6 hours a day worth of more work to make the $20 an hour. Like that concept, you're thinking like an employee. You're thinking like somebody's like, okay, well, I got to get some overtime. You missed the entire thing, right? If you have 100 people working for you, even if their cost is 50%, which is exorbitantly high, that means every hour that they work, you're making 50% of the money that they produce. And that could go on for 100, 200, 500 people. That's the mindset of a business owner. The mindset of a window cleaner is like, hey, how do I pick up a couple extra hours? Right? How do I get some overtime? And if I work another 2 hours, I get another $200. That mindset is the reason you're not growing. That mindset's the reason you're not as strong as you want to be, or as big as you want to be. Or, air quotes, you think that it doesn't work. Well, in my area, no. And then all of a sudden you start looking at other things and you don't look in the mirror. And all of a sudden you're like, well, it's because these new guys are here and the new guys are cheaper and there's all these guys have cheaper things. And you lose sight of the entire business because you're stretching for answers. The answers are right in front of you and you don't even see it. It's the same reason that when people put ads out, they do this thing and they sit down on their computer and they're on Microsoft Paint and they make this thing with Comic Sans and go, this is great. And they post it and they go, man, ads don't work for me. No, your ad sucked. No, it's got to be economy. I bet you it's the president. They blame everything else until they're like, okay, well, let's look at the real reason. Other people's ads work. Lexus's ads work. BMW ads work. McDonald's ads work. A good, real ad campaign always works. Always works. Do you think that they just spend that money? Do you think that the millions and millions of dollars that, say, McDonald's spends in ads don't work? And they're just like too dumb to figure that out? But you figured it out because the one ad you made and you thought was good didn't work? Right? So when you look back at what you have and as a business itself, as a business owner, if you lose that day because you are out in the field cleaning, it's just one day, I just had to, you got nothing done that day. You didn't bring your company forward. And here's the reality of getting out of the field itself and having that mental mindset is because you haven't done it for so long, you go, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got not much to do. I'm just going to sit around all day just so somebody else can do it. That's stupid. It sure is. Don't do that. That would be absolutely a waste of that extra money. Well, then I'll work in the field. No. You missed it. What's your value? What's the mindset of a CEO, of a business owner, the owner of this giant business that you're going to have? You're the one that has to go out there and get people and do the posts and do the content and do the split testing and do the marketing and do the meetings and the follow-ups and the commercial bids and the unsolicited and the route sales. You're the ones doing the follow-ups and the reschedules. You're the one doing the, we call them cold. So they're like a guy that used you once and kind of disappeared and you're calling them, you're figuring them out. You did a bunch of bids. They didn't come in and you're not following up on them now. That's your job. I have never not once met somebody who moved into that role, got into the role and went, this is dumb. There's nothing for me to do. You know what happens 100% of the time? Is people get in the role and go, I need an admin. I absolutely need an admin. An office person. And you go, man, it's so weird. You went from nobody in the office to you being in the office and going, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff here that there's not a way that I could possibly do it by myself. And then they look at it back and go, okay, it took two of us to do the things that need to be done in the office and still I could hire a third. How was I doing that when I was out in the window cleaning world? When I was cleaning, you weren't. You weren't doing those things. And that's why the company didn't grow faster. That's why the company didn't succeed. That's why the company was stale. That's why you weren't happy with where you are. And I will absolutely genuinely tell you, this is not a hippy dippy thing, but the happiness in your business does not mean you need to be big if that's not what you want. It does not mean that you need to be the biggest in town and blah, 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 and 20 trucks. It doesn't mean that. it means your company is absolutely strong. Can you go on vacation and not worry about things? Can you get through winter and not have concerns? There's lots of little pieces of this. I would rather be a strong company than a big company. Now, a big, strong company is even better, but that's for another day, right? The lost day theory is if you're not doing this, and every day you make an excuse to not do this, you've lost that day. And the whole concept comes down to getting work versus having work. And this is the biggest fault in any business. Is you go, well, I'm busy. I got 40 hours of work by myself. I clean the windows. I got 40 hours of work. I'm busy. So you have work. Yeah. Okay, how do you get work? Well, I don't need work. I don't advertise. It just comes in. Okay, that could also be fine. But then it is not okay for you to then complain when you're not as big as you want or as strong as you want. Yeah. No, I've done this. Like, I'm full, but I man, it'd be really nice, just be a little bit bigger, Well, you can't. If you have work, you're not going to get more work. But if your job is to have work and do the work, your job is not going to get the work. And I always tell people, if you go from no employees to employees, your job changes to getting them work. Because here it is in a nutshell. The most valuable thing in business is this. Your job is to grow the amount of work your company does. Now, in theory, simplify this whole process and think about it this way. You have 40 hours of work. You back out and you have 2 employees, because I like running crews of 2. They each have 20 hours of work. God, your job is to get another 40 hours of work. There's 2 of them. They need a total of 80 hours, right? 40 hours times 2. Your job is to do that. But what if you do that and you end up getting more time, more jobs, more work, more big things, a $30,000 school? Well, then you got to hire people. And now those people come in and you split up the hours. And now everybody's back down to having, 25 hours, whatever that timing is. Your job is to then grow that again. Get them back to that 40. That's your entire world. Now, in the other interim, there is costs of business. There are, changing and adjusting all of that. There's pieces to the puzzle that are not involved. But your main focus is to get work for the people to do the work. But your focus is to get work for people to do the work. That's your main focus. How does that work? Everything. You got SEO, you got all this stuff. You're the CEO of a company. If your company is not growing, if you do not have the growth you wanted, the strength you wanted, I would just like to be a little bit more of this. That's on you. You're the CEO. You're the owner. That's on you. And a lot of times people just blame everything else because they're too busy to see that they're not doing anything. They're doing the cleaning. Anybody can do that. It's the everything else that grows the business. It's taking the paddle in the raft, right? It's the mindset you have to have. The difference between owner and worker. Window cleaner and window cleaning business owner. Right? That mindset is that. Now, I love this. This is my favorite part of the week. But if you've listened this long, and by the way, there's a lot of you that listen to every episode and comment on everyone, and I can tell who you are. You're listening to everything. If you've made it this far on Spotify, because I like Spotify, comment the word mind. M-I-N-D. Just M-I-N-D. That way I know you've listened this far. It's always fun to me to hear. And then it also confuses other people who listen to like the first half and they're like got busy and didn't listen. And they're like, mind, what is that comment? Why is everybody, what is going on? If you know, you know. If you're a cool kid, you know, right? If you made it this far. Anyway, mind. Also, I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com, and I would love to continue to eat food. I would love to continue to exist on this planet. And the way I do that is by making money by putting orders in. I can be your help for everything from questions to anything. Text me. I get dozens and dozens of texts every single day. It's great. Phone call, email. Try not to email me. I don't really get many emails, so I don't check it. But text I get a ton of. But you're never bothering me. If you text me at midnight on Saturday, don't worry. If there's a deal or something else going in, it locks you in when you text me. So you're good there. I'll put it in on Monday. We don't ship on the weekends, so you're okay. You don't have to go place your own order at 1:30 in the morning on Sunday because I didn't get back to you at 11 at night on Saturday. Okay? Go do that. Please do. Also, American Window Cleaner Magazine. It's amazing. Don't believe me? Get it. You should absolutely get it. By the way, I'm giving away free high fives with Everett Magazine right now. So if you start a subscription or have a subscription, just let me know, and I will get you a free high five next time I see you. Also, if you guys want, I got some discount codes because those are fun, and I get credit for those also. And so, yeah, you can add a couple pennies to the hair gel thing. Anyway, Jobber, 20% off, free demos. It's an absolutely amazing CRM. You want to talk about running a business. That is a game changer. If you're using Jobber, you're using it right. That is a huge sign of your success, at least in my opinion. That literally is a program that runs your entire business. It really shows something that's better than a notebook, you know? Also, it's time to get prints. Print. Amazing business cards. I saw the coolest business cards I've absolutely ever seen in my life happen to be window cleaners. So great. But anyway, WCR Marketing. There's a code also, affiliate link too, but code is Jersey15, get 15% off. Anyway, whatever. This is the longest shameless plug ever. Sorry. But if you are in the market for anything, let me know. If you are looking for a change in your mindset, if you want 2026 to be absolutely